said was self-guru, and the purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to address the audience challenges when he or she presents outside of a Toastmasters club. Yeah, just make it a pain for her, that's about it.
Yes.
And vote you.
Please welcome Caroline.
Who's feeling pumped in the room? Who's feeling pumped? Kids, applause, you stopped too soon. Pump it up, pump it up. The topic is self-guru. Are you motivated or do you rely on inspiration? Has anyone in the room heard of Tony Robbins?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Mixed response, some yes?
Yes.
We have some yes.
No,
Okay,
no,
yes,
no.
yes,
But I
yes.
forgot who it is.
Yes, we have.
He's
Yes.
a-
Yes,
he's
I
a
have.
motivator.
Sorry.
He's a motivator.
Yeah,
He's a
motivator.
Have you heard of him?
Never.
Love it. Oh, wow.
It's sexy.
That's a matter of opinion, but yes, some say it's sexy. Old and sexy.
How old is he?
The topic is motivation versus inspiration. I would like to think that sometimes I can control my own life and be my own guru. I actually resent it when people take my power from me and they insist that they know better. Who is to say that Tony Robbins knows how to best run my life? And who is he to say how to run your life? I also have a question for you. Do you realize that it is 103 days since the start of the new year?
I didn't count.
Is that I actually looked on Google, 103 days. I found it's on my hand, 103 days since the start of the new year. We all know that when we set New Year's resolutions, and then by the time April comes, which is now, a lot of us, we don't even remember what those goals were, and if we did set them, we have failed, we've given up on them altogether. Who in the room sets New Year's resolutions? We have one person over here.
Yeah.
I had a similar response that my last Toastmasters meeting, we only had 2 people in the room, so I'm hoping that I'm trusting and I'm praying that the rest of you don't rely on the new year and that you actually do have some goals in place at the moment. We have one person?
Yes.
Yes? We have a few people who set goals throughout the year.
I've got a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
You have a question, yes?
Yes. What's your opinion on the Palestine
Oh.
Israel conflict?
I can tell you during the break.
How about
That
it?
is political.
Okay.
So this speech is not political. I have mentioned Tony Robbins, but I don't think I'm sure he can be bias free. So I'm hoping that some of you have got some goals in place and you're feeling still pumped. Doesn't matter what time of the year, you're still feeling pumped.
What happened to the Bondi attack?
I have no idea, Jonathan. You'll have to. I was
Okay.
too busy preparing my speech tonight, so I'm
Well, what do you think Tony Robbins will do about the attack?
no idea. You can talk to me during the break about that.
What about you? If you are there, will you do anything to the attacker?
I'm neutral. I'm with Swiss. I wave the Swiss flag.
Are you a motivator to fight for the crime?
I have no opinions on that, Jonathan. Moving on. We all have goals that we need to set. Sometimes though,
Are you enjoying it?
we can feel flat.
Honestly, it's very exhilarating.
I felt flat myself,
Don't realise just how much
and at times I have gone to Tony Robbins.
everything dance around like that. So,
At this point, when I was wanting to, I was feeling flat. I didn't have $1,000 that it takes for Tony Robbins charges.
Maybe we need to talk louder.
You guys want to hear a story?
Depends.
Yeah.
I have a story to tell. I actually didn't have the money to pay for Tony Robbins. I went to a guru. I took the power for myself and I went to this guru. I so hoped that by the time I went on this course that I would get the motivation and get back on track with my goals. So I went to this place in Scarborough, a hall. I had no idea who it was. It wasn't Tony Robbins, but I really took a risk and I went to this place. The highlight of all things was to chop this piece of wood in half with a karate chop. From your response, I can see that none of you, it doesn't sound very exciting, but if you've got Tony Robbins pumping you up, it's exciting, but
How thick was the wood? Was it really thick?
with that wood.
Did it hurt your hand?
If you don't do it properly and with technique, which people like Tony Robbins would actually, they painstakingly go through it, so you,
Like the coal walking,
Firewalking.
the fire walking.
but he's
Or Iceman Hoff.
professional. He's professional and he gets you through it, Jess.
Oh,
Moving on to the story,
Is it about neuro-linguistic programming, NLP?
he is.
I heard it's a lot of bullshit.
Again, no,
It depends.
we're getting away from the purpose.
What? I mean, you're talking about
Getting away
Tony
from
Robbins,
language.
right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are, we
So
are
it's all
going
about
to
NLP,
the
right?
story in Scarborough.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
programming.
It sounds very scientific, but sounds very grand. But I think all it is just a lot of science wrapped in around a lot of bullshit. That's why.
Not.
Thank you
It's
for
like
your
chocolate.
opinion, but we're moving on to the story now.
Oh, okay.
We had this chance to break a piece of wood. Some people were excited about this. I was not, because I know, I'm sure people might know. Jonathan, I'm sure you know. Perhaps Jess might know. But outside of wanting to be a life coach, I've been an office worker. And so these hands are really precious to me. I don't want to go around chopping a piece of wood and hurting my hand. I value my top values. If I was to ask Tony Robbins or anyone, my top value is protecting these little babies. And so I did not want to go anywhere near that piece of wood and chop it. But what do? I was at this venue, I bow to peer pressure, and I take part in the activity. The first person goes up, hey, yeah! They chop that wood, it goes flying across the room. I'm exaggerating, but they chopped that wood cleanly. Their hands were fine.
Kind of
I'm going like,
Was that-
oh my god, it's
was that-
my turn coming, my turn coming.
It's a toothpick.
But I want to be supported.
Is that plywood or what?
Plywood,
You know,
Did it bring it?
they broke it.
I can bring it with my finger.
Moving on, Anushka. And the next person's coming up. And they perhaps, if there's any disruptors in the room, they might think, I'm going to chop, pretend this piece of wood is a disruptor, and I'm going to chop. So they're lining up saying like, And hey, yeah, they chop the wood. It breaks in half.
Oh, are they trying to?
And I'm going, yes, I'm pumping it up. I'm supporting one, yes, they can do it.
What
If
does
they
that
can
do?
do it, if they can actually break that wood in two, so can I.
And what do you achieve by breaking wood in
Yeah,
your
what's
day-to-day
that?
lives?
Why are they
It's
trying to
breaking
do?
through a barrier, a psychological barrier of a fear.
Just
that
by
you have.
breaking wood?
When
Are
you
you
use a saw for
serious?
They
that?
probably call the wood something and then you break through. Like it's a.
You can put down, you can actually, and Tony Robbins, because I did go on, you can actually put down your fears
Yeah.
on one side, and then on the other side, you turn it over, and it has, I am confident, I'm successful. And so when you break through and you break that piece of wood, then you turn it around, and then you've got the
How
positive.
much you have to
on the
pay
other
to
side.
do that?
Hey, I want to hear the
You can do it for free
story.
with me, man. I do it for free for you.
Hey, I want to hear the story.
Okay, sorry.
My turn came. It's a bit like now, I kind of feel like I wanted to leave the venue, but then I missed out on actually getting through the barrier and overcoming. So I go up. Did I tell you my hands are precious? I like to take care of them. I went up and hey! And I didn't go right through, I went hey! I hurt my hand. And someone came up, probably they didn't want a lawsuit, they came up, are you okay, you okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine, it's only my hand, I'm all good. At lunchtime, I wanted to know, surely there had to be someone who found like me in the room. I was the only one who did not break that damn piece of wood. And I felt, this was a motivational seminar. And what did it do? Sunday came round. I was not in the venue. I was at home. So it was not very motivational seminar for me. So what did I learn? I did learn that breaking pieces of wood was not for me. That was not my story at the moment. But there is a good news. I did go to a Tony Robbins course. And I did break a piece of wood. But it took far more time and far more professionalism from an expert like Tony Robbins. And it costs money. It costs thousands of dollars to do that. But you know that you are not going to hurt yourself. He looks after you. So I learned it can be costly. If I'd broken my hand, it could have cost me my job. It could have cost my income. At best, you might be pumped up and feeling energetic for a day or two. But motivation does not last long. We have to keep topping our own self up with energy. You could have a wedding, you could win $1 million, but after time, your motivation goes back and flatlines. Far better if we can access our own inspiration, which means turning inward. It's free. Once you know how to access it, it's free and ultimately more rewarding. It's more sustaining. So how do we, it could be another speech, but just briefly, how do we access our own inner guru? How do we learn to express our own unique self and tap into our own unique wisdom? Just a couple of quick tips. Firstly, if you're all over the place and mentally and physically, it's not going to work. So you need to be still, and then you go inside, take some deep breaths, and then ask whatever the question is that will take you to your next step. I have a quote that I like to refer to from Eat, Pray, Love author Elizabeth Gilbert. It's on stillness, and it goes something like this. The universe is a great spinning engine. You want to be at the core or the hub where it's still. You don't want to be at the edge where the wheels are whirling and whirling, because that's quite often how our brains are, aren't they? So you want to keep coming back to that hub of calmness, which is essentially your heart. Stop looking out there, keep coming back to this place, and you'll find peace. And why do I want you guys to go to this place of stillness and peace? Because that is where you can set goals which are fueled by your inspiration. These goals, this attitude in this place will get you on to having goals which will help you ultimately be happy in life. And that's where I'd like you guys all to be. So, with you guys, I want to have a call to action for you, and a question that goes with it. What is it that fuels yourself? I've actually lost my quotes. I'm going to go to the quotes. The question I would like to ask you, so that you have clarity, I want you to set goals which are fueled by inspiration. So what drives your goals? Are you fueled by goals that come from the outside? Are you fueled by goals which come from your inside? I want you to be your own guru. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline.